It's a beautiful day to you, our lovely and smart real estate investors, both at home and also in diaspora. I'm super delighted to welcome you to another insightful episode of Property Matters. In case you're seeing a video like this for the first time, I am Adejare and I'm your host here on Property Matter. Property Matter is a real estate surgical room where we dissect everything from real estate investment, investment red flag that you should know, important land documents that you must put into consideration, hotspots for real estate investment, as well as different manipulations that is being used in selling real estate investments, more importantly to Nigerians who are not in diaspora. As your real estate investment specialist, what I've done over time is to come online to explain some of the important things you need to know about real estate investment. We even went as far as explaining some of the manipulation that is being used when a real estate investment is being offered. We've gone further to examine land documents. We've talked about shortlets. We've talked about different off-plan projects. We've talked about criteria of a good real estate investor, and we've even gone as far, as exposing some of the manipulative tendencies that is being used by fraudulent real estate developer here in Lagos, Nigeria. So what we need you to do for us is please do well to subscribe to this channel, turn on the notification bell, and I will see you after the short timeout. Stay tuned. I'll be back. Alright, it's an awesome day to you, my lovely, beautiful, smart real estate investors. Whether you are in Nigeria, I've been Obodo you day. I just want to say congratulations to everybody. You have your plot of land here. It doesn't matter even if it's 300 for Lagos, land and land, because you see, person will get land for Lagos now in get mouth. And for this kind of place, we say to rent 2-bedroom apartment right now, like 1.9 if you rent old apartment, but if you want to do service apartment, it's 2.5. Congratulations to you guys. This is what you have paid for. This is the development here. Expect more. They are doing security, they are bringing CCTV, they are bringing central sewage system, they are bringing all the beautiful things right in the heart of Chevron, right in the heart of Shongotedo. I said Chevron, Shongotedo, facing monastery. So if you are seeing this video and you're thinking, what exactly is this person talking about? This is big luxury court. Paying and plug. This property comes with a 5 million naira initial deposit and a 12-month interest free. Show me one developer that will give you this kind of offer, and I will tell you that you are making the best investment if you can. Now, for more information, my number there here, call me. All right, I'm super delighted to be on the screen today. I want to quickly appreciate everybody who have clicked on the subscription button, and also to appeal to those who are yet to do so. Let me ask you a question. We're giving you value. We're exposing the way the real estate market works. We have assisted a whole lot of people, to get their real estate investment right. And the least you can do for us is to subscribe. From our indices, we found out that those who are viewing these videos have not subscribed. Majority of our viewers have not subscribed. Please do so. Help us. When you subscribe, you help us to, reach more people. And of course, what we are doing basically is to ensure that as a real estate investor, you don't lose a dime to any form of real estate investment. Of course, let me also tell you that I have over 5 years of experience in this industry, and I have assisted Nigerians both at home and also in diaspora to acquire their properties across different parts of Lagos. Of course, you might be wondering, why should I work with an experienced hand? Of course, if you have followed some of our subsequent videos, you will see the need to do so. And one thing I do basically as a real estate specialist is that I always emphasize on the safety of my investors, and I also ensure that everything they are doing is is done the way it should be done. And that's why sometimes we put up we have a legal team that help us do the title verification. We have our surveyors that help us check, of course, and confirm the land dimensions. We have people who are also active in due diligence, who go on environmental research. In fact, a lot of people have told us that we should have engaged, that we have also incorporated some part of journalism to our real estate show that we do here. Of course, the beautiful basic thing is that you as an investor, you are priority, and our priority is to ensure that you don't lose a dime to any form of real estate development or real estate investment at different locations that you may prefer. So do well to subscribe again. I'm appealing to you. Please subscribe. Support us by subscribing. Of course, I encourage your friends to do so. So today I'm going to be talking about something very, very educative. I'm going to be talking about something very, very important. And today's topic is going to be on 3 important real estate red flag that you should look out for. 3 important red flag that you should look out for whenever you want to do your next real estate investment. Okay, 3 important red flags that you should look out for in your next real estate investment. So this is going to be another exciting topic. Of course, you know that we don't always give less, and of course your safety is our priority. So let's quickly dive into the topic without wasting further time. The very first red flag you should look out for, basically, whenever you want to do real estate investment, is that you should avoid real estate developers who have over 70% of untitled properties in their portfolio. Avoid real estate developers who have 70% of what untitled property in their portfolio, and I'm going to explain that. Over time, a lot of people have asked me several questions. This person is selling this land very cheap. This person is selling the land very cheap. This one is, is telling us that I can get the land for as low as 500k. I can get a land for as low as 1.2. I can get a loan for as low as 2 million. Now, I've explained over time, without wasting some of their time, that if you're buying a land that is cheap, just know that that land does not have a title, and there are some procedures that you need to do to get a title on that property. So I won't be going into that, but one of the things is that when a developer have so many untitled properties in their portfolio, or if they have it as larger percent of the properties they're selling, you should be rest assured that such developer will have serious problems in the future. And the reason why I'm saying this basically is that some real estate development companies have understood that what attracts you investors, or some of real estate investors basically, is that they know that some people will not invest in real estate unless the property is cheap. I understand, a scenario whereby you want to do a land banking project. I understand, but let me also explain the fact that despite the fact that you want to do a land banking system, which is very, very commendable, you should also put it in consideration that in Lagos State there are some land policies and land laws that must be adequately adhered to. Now, in a situation, let's give an example. A real estate company have like 20 freeholds within their portfolio, and they're advertising to you real estate investors to come and buy. I've said this before, that if your land does not have a title and it is located within the 4 walls of Lagos, the tendency that government will come for that land is very high. So now, accumulating untitled properties is not a good decision. More importantly, when a real estate company have 70% of untitled property within their portfolio, because the risk is that if I have, like, let's say 20 untitled properties, the cost of perfecting one may discourage me from perfecting others. And in some cases, when you understand the procedures and some of the regulations that Lagos State government have set in getting titles for your property, you don't need a soothsayer to tell you that a developer that has more than 10 untitled properties within their portfolio do not have the intention to perfect. Am I saying you should not buy untitled property? I'm not saying this, but you need to do some calculations and of course do some important analysis by yourself. From this analysis, you'll be able to know a developer that just want to sell, cash out, and leave you with the problem with government. Because the truth of the matter is, it doesn't matter how long you bought the property, as long as it doesn't have a title, it's not safe. I have to be very, very sincere with you. As long as the property you have bought does not have a title, it doesn't matter whether government is coming 5 years time, or they're coming 10 years time, or they're coming 20 years time. As long as the Lagos State land laws, which is enacted in the Lagos State Land Use Act of the 1978, a recognized title is a property that has a recognized title, whether it's a C of O, whether it is Gazette, or a governor's consent. Now, if your property does not have that, please buy the ones that you can perfect. Buy the ones you can perfect. So when a company have more than 5, when they have 10, when they have 20, Have it at the back of your mind that you will have a lot of issues. And some of the things I listed here is that most of these guys know that when the property does not have a title, the possibilities of what of putting good infrastructures on that thing is slim. And that's why sometimes the highest that some of them go is what is a perimeter fencing and a gate out. So please, once everything a real estate developer is telling you just free, ladies and gentlemen, investors both at home and diaspora, please put that as a consideration that it is a red flag, because the more untitled lands they have, the more what is the expenses, and in cases whereby they're struggling to perfect one, the tendency that they will ignore the rest is high. That is investment risk number one. Now the second thing you need to understand is that identify a developer. Now your inability, okay, to identify a real estate developer that want to sell and cash out is also another real estate red flag you should look out for. I'm going to say this again. Your inability to identify a real estate developer that just want to sell and cash out, or when a developer has intention of, I just want to sell, I want to make money, and I want to leave my investors to their feet. This is also another real estate red flag that you should look out for. Now, how is this a problem? Now, when you understand that, I've explained over time that the most profitable industry in Lagos, Nigeria is the real estate industry, and the process of setting up a real estate firm, and of course the process of getting property, has become seemingly easy. It's not like a tax whereby it's not like an opulent tax where you have to follow some due process. No, the process is that you get your company registered, blah blah blah, you do some things, and of course you start selling. So in most cases, in some of the real estate companies that I have come in contact with, majority of them just want to sell and cash out. So real estate investment red flag number 2. When a company just want to sell and cash out, there will be problem. Number 1, the problem is that once a property is sold out, majority of them don't care about what happens in the property. I cited a scenario of a client that we bought a property from in Ibeju far back in 2019, and after the property was allocated, we were the one that was going to meet the indigenes of those town on how to pay for foundation. Of course, there was a fee we paid for foundation, there was a fee we paid for the ballet, there was a fee we paid for the youths, and of course when it got to the point of drainage, we had to the client had to collaborate with some people to do the drainage, because if the client was to do the drainage all by himself, of course it's going to be a cost intensive thing, and of course the client was spending a lot. And when the client was done at some stage, we needed to start wiring the estates. Now to get electricity was also another occurrence tax, so we started sorting for people nearby. In fact, the resident association of that place charged 300,000 from the client before the client can tap electricity from a neighboring community into his house. So in that scenario, so while we're doing the case of trying to pay money for foundation, money for roofing, how to fix the drainage, we have to do that in partnership with some residents within that axis, trying to get electricity. Now the question many people were asking is that where was the developer that sold the property? In cases where a developer just want to sell and cash out, they leave it to your fate. Now the cost of bearing infrastructure is very, very expensive. So your inability to identify a developer that wants to sell will make developers face a lot of issues. And that's why I used to ask questions that who is fixing the drainage, who is fixing the electricity, who is in charge of water, are we going to be having a service apartment, what is going to be the service fee? These are important questions. Don't say I'm just buying land to keep. All these things will still come up because of the fact that, and of course if you're not the one that is supposed to handle this, the moment a developer sells, cash out and leaves it to the fate, it is always very, very difficult, and in most cases real estate developer have to pay more, or real estate investors have to pay more. So in these cases, that's why sometimes you'll understand that for a developer that want to cash out, the minimum they do is just put the gates and the fence, and that's all. So you need to identify a developer that wants to start a project and that wants to finish it. Okay, so cashing out, somebody wants to just sell to people, make profits and move on. It's different from a developer that wants to buy that project, that wants to develop that project and make it easy for their investors, okay, to do what? To make it for their investors to be easier. Now you're saying you're buying a property and you want to resell in the future. The most important questions that most investors don't understand is that if I don't have a good access road to your property, number one, it will affect the value. If I get to your property and all I see is just bushes, there is no fence, in some cases some of the fences would have collapsed. Now even if you want me to buy for 5 million, I'm going to look at the cost of what I will do to fix some things. That obviously will affect the value. So you need to understand as an investor, okay, that if some proper things are not put into consideration, it will affect you. So the question is to ask is, who is handling the fence, who is handling the drainage? Is it going to be a service apartment or is it going to be a self-service estate? How are you going to get electricity? Will the residents in that area coming together to pull funds together to get electricity? Who is going to be handling the issue of security? After buying this property, will I still be paying service charge? These are questions that investors don't ask. Even if they're selling the property for, let's just say, maybe 1 million or 1.5 or 2.3, in the future when that place becomes those things, these issues that I've mentioned will rise. And most times developers don't tell you because they know that they still want to make money after they've sold properties to you. So I've seen instances whereby after we've bought the property, we have erected, the developer said, okay, fine, how can I make money from these people? He came up with this idea of service charge, and of course we were paying, and of course investors started paying. A lot of people were complaining that it was not in the FAQ, I was not consulted, this was not stated, how can you be charging me for service? So these are the pertinent questions that you need to ask. Red flag number 3, your inability to diversify your real estate is an important red flag you should look out for. I've talked about this issue of diversification to the point that many people understood it, and I'm still seeing a lot of real estate investors still repeating the same error. As a real estate investor, I'll be doing a series on criteria of a good real estate company. Okay, I'm going to be doing a series of the difference between land in Epe and land on the island Shonkotedo. I am also going to be doing a series of important real estate questions you need to ask your realtor. Assurance and well-documented evidence of your agreement with the real estate developer before you proceed. So these are exciting topics that will be coming on after this particular video. Your inability to diversify may be an important red flag. I've seen real estate investors buying 10 acres in Epe. Is it good? Awesome, wonderful investment. I've seen instances whereby I know a real estate investor that all the property this person has bought all his life are all freehold. And when we were having a conversation, this man told me basically that he can confidently boast of 10 acres in Epe. Is it a wonderful investment? Yes. But my own advice and recommendation as a real estate expert is that don't put all eggs in one basket. What that means basically is that don't use all your funds to buy untitled properties. It is not a wise real estate investment decision. Now, I know a lot of realtors will tell you buy 5 acres, buy 10 acres, buy 3 acres, buy 4 acres. As an investor, what I did basically was that I identified some key areas in Epe that is going to give me massive return. So what I did was I had to just pick some few locations and I invested there. What I did basically was that I only bought the freehold title that I can comfortably perfect the title when I have the funds to do so. A lot of real estate investors are buying 5 acres in Epe. They're buying 10 acres in Epe. They're buying 20 acres in Epe. And because of the fact that your real estate advisor is greedy and of course is only looking out for the own interest, your real estate advisor will not tell you that the 10 acres you have bought in Ekpe, if you have splitted that funds, you can do like maybe 2 acres at Ikorodu, or you few plots at Ikorodu. You can go to some places in Chongotedo. You can even go to Mowe. Mowe is a very fantastic real estate investment destination. You can look at the places of Alabado, because when you understand the way the real estate trend works is that locations are seasonal. Now, as a smart real estate investor, you need to understand that there is always a period of boom in real estate, and that boom is aided by what? Government projects. Now, the reason why Ekpe is booming right now, the reason why Ibeju Lekki is booming right now, is because of the fact that the government have concentrated some projects and some infrastructures there. Now, you need to understand that in Nigeria there's political instability. Another government can come tomorrow and say, okay, fine, we've experienced enough of development in Ekpe, let us go to Badagry. So if you don't have investment, if you have concentrated all your investment in Ekpe, you have concentrated all your investment in Ibeju Lekki, and government or a new government come in power and they say, okay, fine, we want to face Ikorodu, we want to face Badagry, we want to face Mowe, we want to face other parts. You need to understand that profit is made when you invest in the right locations. So using all your funds to buy untitled property is not wise. Number one, because the cost of perfecting, the more the plots of land, the higher the money you pay. I've explained this several times and I need to reiterate this fact. So as a real estate investment, don't use all your money to buy freehold. Don't use all your wealth to buy freehold. At least if you must buy freehold, if you can have 1 acre or 2 acres of freehold in Ekpe, it is enough. 1 plot of land in Chongotedo, you cannot compare the kind of development, the kind of investment opportunities, the rate people are looking for houses in Chongotedo to some places in Ekpe. In fact, there are some places you are buying in Ekpe that you cannot even stay in the next 10 years. Most of these investors, most of these realtors or these real estate agents will not tell you the fact, because they stand to gain a lot when you buy than from them telling you the truth. So you need to understand that as a real estate investor, for me, I only have just 5 plots in Ekpe and I'm done. My next investment location is Ikorodu. Once I'm done with Ikorodu, I'm going to Mowe. At least with just 1 or 2 I can get in Mowe, or I can get several, fine. Then I'm also targeting Agbara area. I'm targeting Badagry because there's going to be a new a future support, and by the time Lagos State comes, because there's a rail line that's going to cut across several parts of Lagos. So don't just diversify, go for titled properties. Don't just spend all your funds in buying field. Have C of O, have gazettes. Okay, buy gazettes, buy C of O, buy governor's consent. Okay, invest in locations that a lot of people have ignored, and such locations will boom, because you see, a new government can come in and they will change their focus to other locations. And if you don't have properties in that location, all your major investment that you have concentrated in just one place may begin to decline in demand. So real estate is about demand. Real estate is about where the supply is going to. Real estate is you having the ability to pick locations and offer them to investors. So these are some of the things that I want you to understand. So avoid buying so many untitled properties. At least add some titled properties to your investment portfolios, and understand that when it comes to real estate investment advice, it is not everybody that understands this. So this is why you need us to guide you on how you can go about it. Okay, and we can give you investment advices and recommendations on other areas you consider. Ikorodu is a fantastic place. Alabado is a fantastic place. Mowe is a fantastic place. Badagry right now yet developing, but it's a future. If you can have few plots there, it's fantastic. There are some places of Ekpe they access. I have lands at Ekpe, they have lands in Abeokuta, and I'm even intending to go to locations like Ibadan, and don't be deceived that you just have to consider everything in Ekpe. You have to consider everything in Ibeju Lekki. You have to consider everything on the island. Yes, it's good, it's fantastic, but they will have a lot of people who have properties there. So in most cases, you can go to places whereby you enjoy monopoly. Okay, you enjoy monopoly. So this is where I'm going to draw the curtain of today's episode of Property Matters. I hope you found value. Thank you for subscribing. Of course, like I said, we assist investors both at home and in diaspora to get their safe, profitable and reliable real estate investment. So you can give us a call, and of course we will help you. We're so delighted. Remember, we always focus on due diligence. We do a lot of research, we do a lot of due diligence to ensure that the property you're buying is safe. Have a nice day. God bless you, and see you in my next video. And don't forget to subscribe. Have a nice day. Bye.